It was late on Christmas Eve, and the forest was my shortcut home. Snowflakes danced in the air, reflecting the dim light of a distant moon. I zipped up my coat tighter as the frost gnawed at my cheeks. The forest felt unnaturally quiet. No rustling of branches, no distant howl of wind, just my footsteps on the crisp snow. As I walked deeper into the woods, a strange sensation crept over me, as though unseen eyes were following my every step. I paused, turning around. But the only thing behind me was the dark expanse of trees. A branch snapped somewhere far away, and I told myself it was just a deer. The path twisted ahead, narrowing between towering pines. I thought I caught movement in the corner of my eye, just a flicker, a shadow darting between the trees. My heart raced, and I gripped my flashlight tightly, but when I turned it on, the beam seemed to die against the endless blackness. "Hello?" I called out, hoping to hear only my own voice echo back. Instead, there was a sound, a low, rasping chuckle that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. I froze. The laugh echoed again, this time louder, closer. "Who's there?" I shouted, but my voice sounded small and hollow. Suddenly, ahead on the path, I saw it, a figure. It stood unnaturally tall, its head slightly tilted, as if studying me. The moonlight caught its outline. It was humanoid, but wrong. Its arms were too long, its posture too still. When it moved, it didn't walk, but glided forward, its body bending in ways no human could. Panic surged through me as I stumbled backward, slipping slightly on the icy path. The creature's eyes locked onto mine, glowing faintly with an unnatural light. Without thinking, I turned and ran, my breaths coming out in ragged gasps. Behind me, I could hear the crunch of snow, slow at first, but growing faster. The forest seemed alive now, branches clawing at my jacket as I pushed through. I no longer recognized the path. It felt like the trees had closed in, trapping me in their icy embrace. The creature was relentless, its steps heavy, yet eerily quick. No matter how far I ran, its presence loomed just behind me. Just when I thought I couldn't go any further, I saw a light ahead, a warm, inviting glow. My heart soared. Cabin! Safety! I sprinted toward it, my legs screaming in protest. But as I approached, dread began to seep into my relief. The cabin looked old, abandoned. The light in the window flickered unnaturally, casting shadows that seemed to move on their own. Desperate, I flung the door open and stumbled inside, slamming it shut behind me. The air smelled of damp wood and burnt wax. A single candle burned on a wooden table, its flame flickering despite the absence of wind. The walls were lined with strange carvings, symbols I couldn't understand. It was clear no one had lived here for years. The sound of heavy footsteps echoed outside, circling the cabin. I backed away from the door, clutching a broken chair leg as my only weapon. The footsteps stopped, replaced by a scraping sound, like nails dragging across the wood. Then came the laughter again, louder this time, and undeniably closer. I turned to the window, and my breath caught in my throat. The creature was there, its face pressed against the glass. Its glowing eyes burned into me, and its mouth, far too wide, twisted into a grotesque smile. It raised a hand, claw-like fingers tapping the window pane, slowly, rhythmically. The candle's flame suddenly extinguished, plunging the room into pitch black. I fumbled for the door, but it wouldn't budge. The air grew colder, and I felt a presence behind me. Slowly, I turned. Two glowing eyes floated in the darkness, and the creature's breath was hot against my face. Its voice, guttural and alien, whispered, "You should have stayed out of the woods." The next morning, villagers found my flashlight lying in the snow at the edge of the forest. There were no footprints leading out of the woods, only a single trail that stopped abruptly. The cabin they searched was empty, untouched by time, and inside they found no sign of life, only a melted candle and claw marks on the walls.